Jimmy on a beat, boy.
Legends. Welcome back, legends. Welcome back, legends. Been a long time coming to you brand new. Better rock the sunglasses, cause we shining on through. Anime, yeah, it's amazing. Let me show it to you. About to drop it, this the intro, coming at you, season 2. You can't rock it, you can't stop it, cause we're more than enough. Like Naruto, darkness, hatred, crushing all of that stuff. Time to have some fun, you know we starting these riots with Luffy. Yeah, you know him, he's the king of the pirates. If you catch nothing else, simple lesson is just this. Goku is the answer when they cry out for justice. You can step into a world where adventure never ends. I'm AfroX, your guide. This is Anime Legends. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Technical Anime Legends Season 2, Episode 18. But this week we are doing my bigger, fatter One Piece theory. So we're gonna get to talking about that without further ado. Right off the bat, in here we have Trix the Anime Hater. Thanks so much for showing up. Trix here is the biggest fan of the AfroX channel. Donates a crap ton of money to the channel, keeps my internet running. Thank you very much. But yeah, we couldn't do this channel without you, literally. Anyways, let's start off with the regular question. What anime/manga have you watched / read this week? What anime/manga have you watched / read this week? Let me know. I am going to set up kind of a visual thing for one of my main elements. Give me just a second here. Okay. We are not going to be looking into that just yet. Okay. So Trix has been watching One Piece, Black Clover, and Witch Hat Atelier. No Gaichikuda? Is Gaichikuda on break? Maybe? Who knows? As for me, the anime and manga that I watched this week, it was weird because there was supposed to be a new One Piece chapter 1072 on Friday, because Oda never said that he was going on break, but apparently there was a break. Anyways, yeah, so didn't get into reading any One Piece. It's oh, you must be catching up or something, Trix. Anyways, I don't think there was a new Chainsaw Man. I know there was a new My Hero Academia. And outside of anime, Family Guy is back from their holiday break. So super excited about that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Ah, all right. Well, let's get right into it. We'll do the sponsors later. So, uh, all of you that are here, all of you that are watching this video, you're obviously here to hear my bigger, fatter One Piece theory. And I'm going to try not to repeat myself here. If I do, I'm sorry. It's just part of the format. But yeah, so I'm kind of going to try to present this theory as giving you a bunch of facts and figures that I've compiled. And then at the end, I'm going to drop the main idea of the theory on you. So, starting from the beginning, I would like to bring up the point of Gold Roger reaching the final island. And I'm going to call it the final island in this just because it's kind of a plot point calling it Laugh Tale. But yeah, the final island, he gets to the final island and he sees something. He finds something that makes him him and his entire crew just bust out laughing. So yeah, Gold Roger and his crew bust out laughing on the final island for no apparent reason. We don't really know why. It was never revealed to us. But this is going to be important later. So one of the big parts of this theory that I wanted to bring up mostly was Luffy's Gear 5th form. As many of you know by now, small spoiler alert, but it's not really a secret. Luffy does not really have the Gomu Gomu no Mi. The Gomu Gomu no Mi, the Gum Gum fruit, does not exist. That was revealed actually at the end of the chapter we're about to discuss today. But it was revealed that he actually has the human fruit, the mythical human fruit, uh, and it is the sun god Nika fruit, and so he has the sun god Nika fruit, and I think a lot of people focus on that a lot. That like when he goes Gear 5th, he become his Zoan personality takes over, and he becomes Joy Boy. He becomes the sun god Nika. And I think so many people focus on just this aspect. BDA Law did, Grand Line Review did, and kind of my take from it, and especially what I saw from the beginning, is that more than being sun god Nika and the way they describe that the Gorosei described the fruit that he has, Luffy is a 1920s I think if that's not correct, do forgive me and correct me, but 1920s Rubber Hose cartoon. So you remember stuff like Steamboat Willie, right? Those really old black and white cartoons where or like the style of Cuphead, where the cartoons are always bouncing up and down. That's where they get their name, Rubber Hose, because their arms and legs are like a rubber hose, and they're always bouncing up and down. So I'm going to bring in a visual piece just to kind of illustrate what I am saying here. So we're going to take a look at my personal favorite chapter of One Piece, which is chapter 1045, also known as Next Level. And this is all right. This is the chapter in which we first see the extent of Luffy's abilities in Gear 5th. So I'm not going to read the whole chapter. I'm just going to point out a couple of things. So first off, the first thing that we notice and that Kaido really notices is that Luffy is now able to make his environmental surroundings into rubber. And so the first thing that is notable about Luffy's transformation is that it makes the user's body like rubber, which is a characteristic of 1920s rubber hose cartoons. And he's able to make his surroundings like rubber. But I mean, everything from the fact that like Kaido straight up eats him right here, like straight up eats him. Like we have the cliche holding open the monster's mouth thing. But he gets swallowed by Kaido, and like all of this is just ridiculous. He expands inside Kaido. He then turns Kaido's eyes into rubber and stretches out of them and rockets out of his mouth. Which this is ridiculous. Like all of this is absolutely crazy. He decompresses by shooting air out of his mouth, just like a deflating balloon in a cartoon, and then becomes a giant. Like every panel in this stuff is just Luffy being able to do anything, really, absolutely anything. The famous panel that everybody talks about where he uses Kaido as a jump rope. And so Kaido hits him with blast breath, and we have a literally cartoonish a cartoonish blast off. Like literally you could have had a Team Rocket's blasting off again at this moment here. And but then right after that, Luffy's fine, and we have a that's the last straw, which is very much a nod to like Bugs Bunny and This Means War, and he runs in midair like a cartoon there and goes right back up to Onigashima. And then this panel where Kaido hits him through the ground, this is my favorite panel in all of the One Piece manga. And honestly, I would love to get a chance to voice act this if anyone ever gave me that shot. But he hits Luffy through, and Luffy goes, "Youch!" And I honestly really hope that in the dub of One Piece, when Luffy goes Gear 5th, they make his voice super cartoony. So yeah, it's just it's all this. It's all this stuff. I'm kind of giving a lot of examples here, but it's all this stuff of just Luffy. Oh, I did want to point out here that before the recent chapter where Luffy became old, we did see his old form before. So when Luffy gets tired out from Gear 5th, he turns into this old form. But what's nice to know is that he can, if he wants to, he can instantly just pop right back into Gear 5th. Like, but it's interesting because, what is it? Momonosuke says his voice is still fading quickly. So in that old form, like Luffy almost dies every time he uses Gear 5th, which I believe I actually said back in the day that Gear 5th would put him on the verge of death, just because of energy consumption. But so he goes right back into Gear 5th, and then this Kaido hits him with the club, and he rubberizes his face and just becomes the shape of the club hit. And right here, like, Kaido straight up squishes him, like his whole body is being turned into putty. I don't even know what that panel is, but just everything in here is like Luffy being able to do anything. And my whole point with all of this that I am really coming to is that Luffy's power, we shouldn't be so fixated on the lore. I'm having the time of my life, Kaido. I love that. Anyways, we shouldn't be so fixated on the lore of him being Sun God Nika with his fruit. I think that we should instead say that Luffy's devil fruit is the Toon fruit. It gives Luffy Toon Force. And just for a little bit of context for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about with Toon Force, in debates on fictional characters who would win and stuff, Toon Force is a fictional force of nature that is attributed to cartoons. We're talking Bugs Bunny. We're talking Mickey Mouse. So characteristics of Toon Force are a hammer space, which is a invisible space that a cartoon can pull anything out of. They typically pull hammers out of it, which is why they call it hammer space. So Toon Force, pretty much the characteristics of it are hammer space, being able to be apparently to take damage that is fatal without dying. So Luffy definitely demonstrates that with how many times he gets hit by Kaido after he turns Gear 5th. Being able to take fatal damage without dying, being able to instantly recover from any wounds, and pretty much being able to warp the world around you to your will, which Luffy definitely demonstrates all of these. So, like, yes, he has the Sun God Nika fruit, but I think a more accurate name for Luffy's devil fruit would be the Toon fruit. And it, in essence, just turns the user into a cartoon. Which is really what was the description that the Gorosei gave. Turns your body into rubber, and in your fighting, lets you do anything in your imagination. So, I, at least on my side, am gonna call Luffy's devil fruit the Toon fruit. So the point that I'm getting to with all of this, with Luffy's devil fruit being Toon Force, and Gold Roger laughing, and I kind of these are kind of the two biggest things in my theory. But also I want to add in, recently in recent chapters we had Dr. Vegapunk. And Dr. Vegapunk finally explained the nature of devil fruits. And when he explained devil fruits, he said that each devil fruit comes from the wish or desire of people from another world. Now, when BDA Law reviewed this, when Grand Line Review reviewed this, they very much tried to push that this was just a theory of Dr. Vegapunk's. And that's true, because Dr. Vegapunk did say this is just a theory. But also, Dr. Vegapunk is the smartest man in the entire One Piece universe. So that's like him saying, oh, an apple falls when it comes down from a tree, and that's gravity. But gravity is just a theory. Like, we all know that the theory of gravity is true. But, like, Dr. Vegapunk saying, I have a theory, is him saying, this is pretty much true, and no one has disputed it to me yet. So he says that these wishes from another world are what creates devil fruits. and that these powers in essence come from a different dimension, and that the devil fruit users are living out the wishes of people from it. Like he's talking directly to us, and he is saying like all the things that all the superpowers that humanity has ever wished for. Um, being able to be invisible, being able to fly, like um I'm sure you've watched a movie and been like, hey, I want to be Iron Man. Hey, I want to be Doctor Strange, stuff like that. All of those wishes, Ichiro Oda is saying that is where is saying like the human race is where devil fruits come from, the desires of them. And if all this is true and Vegapunk is really like having a meta moment, then what it all comes down to, and what I think is the truth of the One Piece universe, is that when you get to the final island, you of course you find the One Piece, you find the treasure that Roger left behind, because Ichiro Oda did confirm that there is a treasure. In the One Piece there is a treasure. And Whitebeard confirmed that the One Piece does exist. So there is Gold Roger's treasure there. But my theory, my bigger, fatter One Piece theory, is that when you get to the final island, it is revealed to you that you are inside a comic book, or a cartoon, that you are inside a work of fiction. And I think that's why Roger laughed. And I know it sounds ridiculous. I know it's positively out there, but I think that Roger laughed because it was revealed to Roger that he was inside a work of fiction. And I think it's interesting that Roger got a mysterious illness right after going to Laugh Tale, and then he pretty much committed he pretty much unalived himself by turning himself into the world government and the Marines. And I mean, he called the island Laugh Tale because really, I guess he realized that that's all that the world really was a very, very funny story. It's like One Piece literally is a laugh tale. That's what you can make the title if you really wanted to. So yeah, that's my bigger, fatter One Piece theory, that the entire One Piece universe, once they get to the final island, finds out that they are in a work of fiction. I also want to point out kind of a sub point to this, which is that Luffy, his dream was to be the Pirate King because he says the King of the Pirates is the one with the most freedom. But he's already the King of the Pirates. He said himself, when he is in Gear 5th, that is when I feel the most free. And so he's already realized it. He says, when I'm in Gear 5th, I feel the most free out of anyone in the world. And really, if you are the most free in the moment that you realize that nothing matters and you can do anything, then it makes sense that you were a work of fiction. I mean, it really brings up the the psychological or the philosophical idea of nihilism. And really, there's so many characters. I'd like to mention Deadpool for one, and the Joker, when characters in fiction realize that they are in a fictional world, it breaks the laws of physics for them. And so Luffy saying, I am the most free when I'm in Gear 5th is kind of like him saying, when and it's interesting because Luffy dies. Luffy confirmed straight up dies. He has a real death before he hits Gear 5th. And so perhaps reaching the One Piece is one way to find out you're in a fictional work, but also Luffy died and came back to life, and him dying exempted him from the laws of physics in the One Piece world. Him dying made him realize, oh, I'm inside a manga. I am inside a fictional piece of work. I'm in a book. I am just a character in a story. And so him realizing this is like, hey, if I'm just a character in this story, then the ground is rubber. You are rubber. Everything is rubber. I can do anything that I want. Because nothing is real and nothing matters. And that's why he says, I am the most free in this Gear 5th form. And so really, when he's not in Gear 5th, he is consciously shackling himself into the physics of the real world. And yeah, no. That I didn't even think about him dying being a break from the physics of the world. That just came to me now. That, wow. But yeah, so there we go. I think my theory here, it's ridiculous, but it is pretty solid that if you die and come back, or if you are outside of the reality of the One Piece world for any moment, you realize you're in a work of fiction, and like Roger, you either become depressed and decide that you don't want to be a part of this world anymore, or like Luffy, you embrace the chaos and the nonsense, and you just do whatever you want because you can. You literally transcend. You transcend the medium. You quite literally transcend the medium. Trickster says, wouldn't Eneru be free from physics since he revived himself too? I'd be interested to find that out. I would want to find out if Eneru had a confirmed death, if he was absolutely confirmed to be dead. Because so many people don't die in this. And that's another point to bring up, that the One Piece world is a fictional universe. Like, so many people get fatal damage and they do not die. Like, literally, if this was a video game, oh man, I'd be so pissed at the amount of people that are not dying. But yeah, I'd be interested to see if Eneru had a confirmed death. But I mean, that might also be a reason that Eneru like left and went to the moon, pretty much outside of the world of One Piece, because if he did die, and came back, he then realized that this whole world wasn't real. And maybe that's why he's on the moon now. I mean, it's just interesting. It is so interesting that once a character actually dies in One Piece, and they come back, or they reach the final island, or something, that they immediately leave the story, or else, like Luffy, they use the plot to their advantage. What was it in? Here, let me bring it up again if I can. If it'll let me. Um that actually reminded me of right here. Luffy says, "After all of this, do you really think something like death can scare me?" That right there is Luffy declaring that, like, I know I know I'm in a fictional universe, and like, and he's like, "Do you really think death can scare me? Nobody dies in this story." And it's pretty much Luffy straight up saying, "I know I'm the main character. I know I have the plot on my side. Not even you killing me scares me anymore." Be- because Luffy's like, "I got plot armor, and I know I have plot armor." But yeah, I just think that's I just think it's really cool. I really think that Luffy's Gear Fifth form is him realizing that he died and saw he was in a work of fiction, and he realized that he was the main character, and so now he's just like, if I'm the main character, I got plot armor. I can't die. I can warp reality to my own will. I can pretty much stop any enemy that I want to. Um, but he's just like, his attitude is, I'm just gonna have fun with it. He's like, I'm gonna break this world in the most fun way possible for me. Um, which I think is really, really cool. Um, oh, so yeah, that's the theory. There was a smaller thing that I wanted to bring up too, just a tiny thing that I want everybody to realize here that nobody really clues into. This is a mini theory. Chopper is almost as smart as Dr. Vegapunk. Here's why. Dr. Vegapunk figured out how to create devil fruits. Chopper figured out how to awaken a Zoan devil fruit. This was before the time skip. At the beginning, when he came into the story, he had already created the Rumble Ball. And by creating the Rumble Ball, he was able to awaken his devil fruit. And Monster Point is Chopper's awakened Zoan form. So not only did Chopper create an awakened Zoan form where the where the animal of the fruit took over his mind, but he managed to control the animal within him to make a mastered awakened Zoan form. So from the beginning, Chopper had a medicine that could awaken Zoans, and he himself mastered his own awakened Zoan form. So I think we need to rate Chopper a little bit higher now. I think we need to put Chopper in like the leagues of like Zoro, Sanji, Jinbei, stuff like that, just because of his brain. Like where they got strength, he got brains. Yeah. Vegapunk created devil fruits, but Chopper created it created an artificial awakening. So yeah, Chopper definitely needs some more props. I honestly I think that after the story, after One Piece is done, I think it'd be so cool for Chopper to join Mads. If Chopper joined Mads with Dr. Vegapunk, oh my god, would that be awesome. Um I think that'd be sweet. Definitely if you want to see me do an actual big theory on Chopper, do say so in the comments and let me know. and I will definitely do that in the future. Anyways, that's been the theory. Just a quick run through. Go to the Patreon, www.patreon.com/AfroX. Sign up there to donate to the channel. You know the increments, $5, $10, $30, $50, $100 a month. And you'll see all the prizes and rewards there. We have a Facebook, the AfroX page. We have a Facebook group, the official AfroX fan club. We have a TikTok, AfroX_YT. We have a Twitter, @TheRealAfroX. We have a gaming channel, Afro the Sniper. And we actually just started a brand new channel all about the game Dead by Daylight, which is called Terror Time. And you should definitely look that up because I just put out a video for it. But yeah, that's all the stuff. And dude, like, it's so fun to talk about this stuff. And this is just a theory. And so if it comes true, if this turns out to be the truth, I may get a little bit famous on YouTube. That'd be fun to find out that I was absolutely right. But yeah, as I said, this is just a theory, a One Piece theory, to be continued. Please don't sue us, Matt Pat. Stay legendary.